Motherfuckers. Hold on. What up, all you sexy ass motherfuckers? This is Majin. We back and we streaming. So Ace fucking attorney. And I forgot my phone, so I can't post my link. So I gotta go get it right now. Fuck. Ah. What? There we go. So, previous week, it was canceled, the stream, because numerous reasons, including my daughter being sick. So, we back. And I want to finish this goddamn this goddamn case. Let me see. Got to make sure to put out my links. Hey, we got Mila up in here. Anyone who hasn't checked out his Twisted Metal protagonist run should do so. Anyone watching in the future, it is out. Mila Gaming 4K. Absolutely watch that. It's a pretty fun watch, actually. He does a playthrough with Outlaw, aka Officer Roberts. Let me see. Myself. Copy link. Share! Copy link. Discord. Post my shit. Real quick. My streams. Majin streams. There it is. Boom, boom. And then boom, like that. So what you doing, Mila, by the way? What are you playing? I assume you're also playing something, or are you just watching? There we go. Promote yourself. See right here. And right here. Oh, oops. That's not what I was gonna... Click the other thing. Alright. Boom. Almost done. You're not doing anything right now? Alright, gotcha. Well, we about to start pretty quickly, because I want to get this fucking case over with. And then I'll just post this link quickly. Right here. And here. And last last but not least, I'll post it. Here. Alright, I'm good to go. That's good enough! Alright. So, yeah. For recap, Mike Meekin says he murdered the victim and it was caught on tape. So let's see if he talking shit.
Show us a video of you murdering the victim.
Oh! Please stop using the word murder, sir! It scares me! A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Do the Blue Badger dance! You can all do it! Do it together! Get groovy with it! Do the Blue Badger! Do the Blue Badger dance! Do the Blue Badger dance! Alright, there we go. Hey, death count! How's beating Behemoth going? So yeah, everybody check out Death Count. He's been doing a lot of Monster Hunter lately on his Twitch channel, Kamaro Tetsuo. He's also got some interesting things going on his YouTube channel, currently Death Count. And as I've mentioned before, his gimmick on his YouTube channel is playing a game at the hardest difficulty and counting how many times he dies. It's a gimmick I quite well enjoy. You were just witness to, Death Count, the what I like to call the Blue Badger Aerobics VHS tape.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
We beat it, sat down in that tent and let a super high level Japanese player take care of the behemoth. Does that even count though? Come on! What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir! That is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir! It's the Blue Badger, sir! Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? You did the first phase all by yourselves.
Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room and some sort of, activity that,
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir! I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir! So it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it!
What's this about our fingerprint?
Each detective has been given the locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing! That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination would lead. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Fucking Meekins. His face can't clearly be seen in the video! Hold it! Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? We'll go back to it later after Rise and clean up the rest of the monsters. I will get better. At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? So, sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
Or to the point, you are the person who fought him, are you not?
Oh, yes, sir! But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir! I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see? Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Oh, originally it was Game Boy Advance, then re-released for DS. But you can get this for, like, fucking anything now. Like PlayStation, Switch, PC, whatever the fuck you want. Still, I'm sure it was him! I put my badge on it! But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir! But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Yeah, Game Boy Advance. But it's so good!
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it.
Whoa, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing, or
Meekins.
Having shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now, please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir! You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir! I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past! I only respond to registered fingerprints! Sir! Wonder what kind of methods he tried.
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my mind, sir! And this too! The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker! Sir! So it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it! Wait, hold on. There we go. Hold it! How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir! From people in the know, sir! People in the know? The workers in that department cafeteria, sir! They keep me informed! They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir! This fucking character. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So, the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it! However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir! I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock! And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir! My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir!
Yes, you do have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? Oops. Okay, here we go. I fucked up. Let me see, there we go. However, the most important detail is not shown on the man's face, blah 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 blah. Let's get through that selection again. I fucked up on accident. Yes, there's a fucking problem. You see, down on my D-pad is kind of fucked. I need a new PS4 controller. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You'd want me to point it out?
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright! It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
Please don't play it too many times! I can't stand watching this video! How did this guy ever get to become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction in this video?
Alright, first, let's see.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Officer Beacons! Sir! Do you have a choice, mister? Oh, fuck. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprints. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir! If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Do the blue badger dance. It's the newest hip thing. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle!
Order! Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
Objection!
But the locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know! It must have broken down! Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor! Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more.
Everybody do the blue badger dance. You know you have to.
The locker wasn't locked on the day of the video.
Oops. Do the blue badger dance. It's the hottest thing in town. Everybody do the blue badger dance on the dance floor. Go to the nightclub, all the hot bitches doing the blue badger dance. All the hunks doing the blue badger dance. Everybody doing the blue badger dance. Seniority centers, everything. You got the blue badger dance. Anyway, I should actually be pointing things out. Hold on. Rewind. There we go. Take that! Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. They're not playing the music now because they're afraid we won't be able to pay attention with those amazing jams.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll when people open doors I'm close to, or something like that. We can't be sure that the item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
Hold on, I got this. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? I know! Officer Meekins, Mike Meekins.
Inserted?
Look at those damn moves! My boy knows how to drop it down on the dance floor, man. Look at that. Look at them wrists. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir! It's just like my tie! 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle! Sir! Instead of the door closing, it's all statue!
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene,
There just might have been something that fits that description. But sir, my insulator, you believe? I think I finally figured it out.
very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9. Oops. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! I went up here, sir!
Order! Order! So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated a possibility, nothing more. The victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir! Me, sir! I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir! Oh! You mean that, sir? Of course, sir! Is this a joke?
Very well. Begin your testimony.
Alright, here we go. There's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir! To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card! When an ID card is used, there's a record of it! At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card!
An ID card record. I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, hmm? Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too. Although, it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right. I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination.
Alright, here we go. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! If my head wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir!
Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card! Is that card hanging from your neck? Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir! This card next to my cup, sir! I keep it here so I won't ever forget it! What if someone were to steal it from you? What if someone were to steal it from you? Keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember what I said? 2 or 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of the car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, the ID drags me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Oops. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness is referring to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman.
What's the matter?
Oh, according to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor. Not the prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind this all. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence.
Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer?
Shh! Don't stare at me. Got the wrong color. You got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card! Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked for the man to show his ID card. He pulled a knife on you. He didn't show me any ID card, sir! Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with his ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got.
Where was it? Where was it? Here's the record. That's not what I'm looking for. This one. Yes.
Objection!
Objection! Wait 1 minute, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir! So much paper beating. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office! Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only a few moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well. It seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecution's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
the activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor! What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not! But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yeah, we get it. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I am sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean?
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh? Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. All right.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. Lana! You're the one who knows everything!
Emma!
You always know everything! Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Wait! Detective Gumshoe! What is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal! Making a detective run all around while on duty? And to top it off, you call me here! I've seen happier people at funerals!
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see her there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh! You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The
SL9 incident?
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had brought them here. I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
This guy was a witness?
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless...
No.
It couldn't be. Lana! This SL9 incident, is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark Killings.
The... Joe Dark. No. No, Lana! That's over with! No!
Emma, wait! She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Fucking dumb shit. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. Alright, I'm just gonna get something to drink real quick. This fucking Meekins is really stretching my throat because I have to squeeze it so thing to, you know. Oh, sir! Like, squeezing it like this. Anyway. I'll be right back. Just gonna grab something to drink real quick, and then we'll continue. bathroom visit, which is finished, and my coffee machine is currently pouring me coffee. I'll be there in a second. And we're back. Hey, Christopher Harris, how you doing? And thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Here we go. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner. Oh, I'm just a man, same as you. Wander around the track. Me, partner. Oh, I'm just a man, same as you. Wander around the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping the elderly across intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know! You're a patrolman! As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind come.
Fuck. Try that again.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
Alright.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. But that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, So if you're out of ammo this time, I hit the trail. So if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Yeah.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you know about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines. Or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard.
How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker and teared the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time come, I'd erase the tape.
If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours.
Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room.
They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style.
But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
And you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know join the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime? Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck to the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired?
Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway.
You used to be a detective, so you have used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite, incredible. The sensor on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down.
What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vangola sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?"
I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the evidence doesn't appear to have seen anything. The witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card on my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. Okay, that ain't it. That ain't it, Chief! What? Okay, let me see. You should probably read these. Incident number SL9, closed. Perpetrator, Joe Dart, crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses, Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Investigation Task Force. Executive investigators Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Where are you?
Objection!
That's not it. Fuck, what was it again? Let me look at my evidence real quick. Like this. I forget. Fuck. Hold on, I got a message. Alright, there we go. Okay.
Hold it!
The fuck? Okay. Oh, I forgot about this shit.
Objection!
There we go. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint.
Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crib. I'll pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness! What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid. Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
Hold it!
That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yep, that's right. Then and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Hurley's fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it.
One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint.
So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened the murderer touched the locker when my fingerprint was by chance.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated.
Unrelated?
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder. He's right! Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape?
As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider fully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner?
What do you mean by that?
You want me to tie that? You want to tie me to this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Well, that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. All right.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us the incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall.
we go. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
My days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This man isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only one who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened the locker? Now prove it.
Alright, easy.
Take that!
Oh, fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by detectives they belong to.
Whoa, what kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only got one word for you, partner. No! Order! 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 Witness! Explain yourself! This is a joke? It's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Olay! Please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
Is that so? Where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right there.
There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why wouldn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You have got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the Seems like you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ugh, this can't be happening. So obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look out for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. What do you think this locker was opened with in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered for later, as it has been. which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take another look at security tape.
Alright, this is where I'm gonna call it today. Quite simply because... yeah, time is running out on me. However, we're almost done with this day of the case. And thank fuck. Yeah, I'll probably see all y'all motherfuckers next week. Thank you, Christopher Harris, for dropping by and sharing the stream. I'd like to thank Deathcount for dropping in. And thank you, Malal, for dropping in as well. And this is Majin. I'm peacing out. And I'll see ya, bitches. So, this is Majin, signing out. Hope you all are having a sexy ass day, night, or evening, depending on your region. Peace. The fuck. Out. Sir! Yes, sir! And extreme, sir!